All right, Fish Sticks here. It's 25 quick tips to help you improve at Tribes 3. Let's jump right into it. Number 1 is ski boosting. Whenever you're static, you can hit spacebar to get an instant little mini boost of speed. If you combine this with jetting, you'll get going where you want to go a lot faster than simply jetting straight. If I jet straight, let's see, when I run out of jets, about 115. Let's try that again with ski boosting. Seems subtle, but it's actually really, really important that every single time you get going, you use the ski boost to do that. Number 2 is disc jumping out of spawn. As soon as you spawn, you have about 1.5 seconds of invulnerability, but you can still disc jump and get a free disc jump to get going even faster. This is a great way for cappers to start their routes. And really anyone to get out of spawn just a little bit faster. Number 3 is passive reloading. When you shoot regularly with just a single weapon out, it takes a second to reload, right? But if you put your weapon away and you keep it in your inventory for a couple of seconds, it will have automatically reloaded. This means that you can just continuously shoot, essentially. Without ever really having to waste any time reloading. Number 3. This might seem a little bit unintuitive, but even when you're playing flag defense, you may not want to stand directly on the flag stand. If you're directly on the flag stand, you're a sitting duck and pretty easy target for the enemy team. But if you're playing near the flag stand, you're able to intercept routes, you're able to kill cappers as they exit the flag stand, and you're able to intercept incoming distract, and you're able to just stay mobile and survive a lot longer. Related to the previous tip, tip number 5 is called route camping. This is a meta that is super, super strong in Tribes 3 right now. Essentially, it means meeting the enemy cappers while they're mid-route rather than at the flag stand. It really depends on the type of map you're playing, but especially on these smaller maps, if you see that there's a capper coming on this left side, there's only so many hills that they can use to angle into your base. So if they're going to land on this hill, you can really do a lot of damage right here. If you hit a direct disc, which isn't too hard to do, their route is pretty much over. This is especially important for, let's say, a back cap, which is really hard to stop once they actually grab your flag. But if you stop the back capper right here, or hit them with a full disc, you might hit them off their route, but at very minimum, you're going to do a whole lot of damage. Number 6 is using your thrust pack when you have 0 energy. You might think that because the thrust pack uses all of your energy, the more energy you have, the more thrust it gives you. That actually isn't the case. So when you thrust all the way at the end of your energy pool, you'll get just as much boost out of it. So it's much, much better to use all of your energy first before you thrust. This one's a little bit niche because, frankly, Shocklance isn't that great of a weapon at the moment, at least compared to alternatives. But important to know that if you are able to Shocklance someone from behind, it will be an instant kill, no matter if they're light, medium, or heavy armor. So if you Shocklance a heavy armor from behind, that's an instant kill. All of that HP gone in just a second. Bonus tip, if you're enjoying this content, make sure to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for more educational content. Now back to the video. All right, this one is map specific, but for tip number 9, if your entire team starts disking this turret on Dangerous Crossing, right off the get-go, you'll get an instant kill on it very, very quickly and very, very easily in the first couple of seconds of the match. Of course, you need your teammates to coordinate. It might be hard to do in a pub, but if you're in an organized pickup or scrim, make sure that everyone disks this turret before you get the game started. Number 10 is how to optimally use your dome shield and mines as juggernaut defense. You might be tempted as soon as you spawn to just throw your mines out. Makes sense, right? But this means that the enemy clearers can easily just destroy them by shooting them early on in the route. If you hold your mines until you have your dome shield up and you know that the cappers are incoming, you can place the dome shield right on the mine, making it incredibly difficult to kill that mine and giving you a much better chance of your mine surviving and getting the kill on the enemy cappers. Another one that's a little bit niche, but if you are capping a lot, you're going to really want to have this in your arsenal. Number 11 is releasing the ski button to stick over the top of a hill. Let's say you're coming towards the flag and you don't want to go too high up this hill, but you're about to go up. If you let go of space for just a second, you stick a little bit to the hill instead of shooting up off the, let's say it's like a skate park. Instead of shooting off the ramp, you're going to suction over the top of the hill. Let me see if I can find a better example for you. See? You see how I suctioned it down the other side of that hill instead of shooting up? This is a little bit niche, but can come in handy if you need to redirect your route. Number 12, the generators in Tribes 3 are pretty damn beefy. They take a lot to kill. However, there are some ways that you can speed up this process using weapon swapping, which we talked about before, and the correct loadout. If you're going with medium armor, you're going to want to use the sticky nades, which I have attached right now. They do the most damage to base assets. Let's see how quickly we can kill this with the combination of sticky nades and weapon swapping. Oh shoot, I screwed it up. I swapped a little bit too quickly. Just a little bit too quickly to grenades there. But you get the idea. Basically, if you use weapon swapping and you use the right loadout, then you're going to be able to kill that thing a lot faster. If you are on heavy, the Gladiator isn't as good as the Mortar right now in general, but Gladiator is also a good way to kill base assets a bit faster. Number 13 is calling your times as a capper. If you're playing an organized pickup game, scrim, or even in a pub, and you want to use voice chat to better coordinate your attacks, the capper is actually the person who should be the maestro for the attacking run. As soon as you spawn, you should say, I'm going right, 20. And when you say 20, you mean I'm going to be about 20 seconds. Most routes take between 25 to 35 seconds if you're running them properly. So you're going to say, I'm right, 25. You're probably also going to want to say, I'm 10 out, and even I'm 5 out. So the more that you're coordinating with your clearers, the better chance you're going to have of getting that flag home. And it's really the job of the capper to do that offense timing. I know some cappers say, I'm 25, I'm 20, I'm 15, I'm 10, I'm 5, or even count down 3, 2, 1. That might sound excessive, but the most important thing in Tribes is getting the flag off the stand, and the best way to do that is to have a coordinated offense. So as cappers, you can't be slacking on this. You've got to be calling your times whenever possible. Number 14 is shooting the flag to bounce it around to make it easier for you to grab it, as well as make it so the enemies cannot grab or return their flag. It's often very tempting in a scramble situation when the flag's in the field and there's a lot of people around to just tunnel vision and go straight towards it. But if you're playing against good players, you're going to be a sitting duck and very, very easy to kill. Oftentimes, it's better to assess the situation, see who's near it, and if somebody's getting close to returning it, instead of maybe even shooting them, it might be easier to shoot the flag, bounce it away from them in the last second. You can see there that also the hitbox for the flag is kind of at the base of the flags. So if you shoot towards the top, you'll shoot behind it, and you can actually use this to bounce the flag directly to you. And, you know, sometimes I might just drop directly on it, but if I want to be tricky, I'll drop it down there and just make it a little bit more difficult for the enemies to stop me from grabbing this flag. So don't tunnel vision, don't just go straight towards the flag, assess the situation, and often the best course of action is to shoot the flag out of the way of the enemy cappers or directly into your hands.
Taking the enemy flag.
Number 15 is using the insta-pass mechanic that was added to Tribes 3 a couple of patches ago. If you're very close to a friend, you can actually teleport the flag directly into their hand rather than risk missing a flag toss. It is so close that oftentimes it is better to try and go for the flag toss, but if you're not confident in your flag tossing skills, or if you have plenty of time and you don't have enemies breathing down your neck, it's sometimes easier to get right up next to a friendly. Let's say this is a friend right here, and if you're about this close, you should be able to auto teleport the flag into their hand. Number 16, in Tribes 3, they've made skiing a little bit more friendly and a little bit more forgiving. You don't have to hit every single hill at a perfect angle to continue to maintain all of your speed. In previous Tribes games, you'd want to hit the hill as smoothly as possible so that you don't lose any speed. But in this game, you can actually still hit at kind of a rough angle and not lose any speed at all. I believe it's about 30 degrees difference, and you'll still not lose any speed. So that's pretty significant. Number 17 is flag punting. If you're low on HP, or simply want to get the flag home as quickly as possible, oftentimes the best course of action, especially if you're in medium armor in the raider position, is to toss the flag and what's called punt it, which is shoot the flag in the air. This can be a little bit tricky to do. Remember that the hitbox for the flag is towards the bottom half of the flag, but if you throw the flag and shoot it in the air, it's going to make it a lot further home. You can basically punt the flag almost half the way across the map with Raider. So if you're low on HP or you simply want to get the flag home a little bit quicker, make sure to punt the flag. Number 18 is shooting yourself to kill yourself and respawn a little bit faster. We all know that recalling and getting back to base is super important in the game of Tribes. But if I were to respawn here just normally, I'm going to get hit by this and it's going to restart my timer, which basically means I won't get home as quickly. So if you're behind enemy lines and there's a great deal of risk that you might be killed in the middle of your respawn animation, it's almost always better to just shoot the ground and respawn the old-fashioned way. Number 19 is to always make sure to pass the flag when you're low on HP and going to die imminently. If you're extremely low on HP and chasers are breathing down your neck, it'll be easy for them to ground pound you with a disc, or you're 1 or 2 chain bullets away from dying. It's almost always the right play to just toss the flag rather than dying and let it drop straight to the ground. This makes it a little bit more difficult for the enemies to return the flag and gives you just a little bit better chance to get it to a friendly. So if you're low on HP and gonna die within the next second or two, it's always better to make sure to just pass that flag. Even better if you can punt it. Number 20, it's not always ideal to return the flag immediately. If you're an avid pub player, you know that if the flag's in the field, it's going to get returned immediately. But oftentimes, if the flag's in the field, you can push it into a more defensible position by disking it. And if it's somewhere in the field and you know your base is being camped by 3 or 4 people, it's always better to just keep it in the field. This also gives you the opportunity, let's say a flag capper is coming from the right, you can always shoot it right before they get there, which is very, very frustrating for a flag capper, and giving you a lot more control over where it is. Now, obviously, if the flag's out in midfield, you're gonna want to return it more times than not. But if the flag's in an easily defensible position, or your base is owned, keep that flag in the field and shoot it around when enemies are coming to it, or just simply return it as they get close to throw off the enemy cap routes. Tip number 22. If you're playing as medium armor in the Raider class, which is medium offense, you get an extremely, extremely strong flag toss, much stronger than other classes. And obviously, in the ideal scenario, you have flag cappers coming at 300 kilometers per hour and grabbing the flag and getting home. But a pretty good alternative is to simply use your ski boost, maybe come down from 1 or 2 hills. But even if you just use your ski boost, going towards the flag with very minimal speed, you can toss this flag with the Raider boost, punt it, and it's going to make it almost all the way back to your base in a single punt. Depending on the map, it could go all the way back with an effective slide like this. So medium armor can be an effective way to move the flag. Number 24, if you're a flag capper and you want to cowboy cap this flag, you don't necessarily have any friendly clearers in place to do the clearing for you, you can always throw impact nitrons to knock the Hoff off the stand. Those impact nitrons actually knock heavy armors pretty damn far, and you have 2 of them at your disposal. So spam those impact nitrons. You can throw both and then even add a disc for good measure. Just remember that if you're using blink pack, you cannot blink for about a second after you throw the impact nitron, so just keep that in mind. Number 24, very related to the previous tip, hand nades go through the enemy dome shield. I believe it's the only weapon that can go straight through a dome shield. So yes, you can knock back heavy armors on that flag, even if they are within a dome shield. Tip number 25, using blink, even if you blink backwards 180 degrees from where you're going, you will still retain your momentum. So you can do some tricky stuff where you overshoot the flag and still blink to grab it, throwing off the enemy defenders. Now, I'm really bad with blink, so I totally missed that right there, but watch good players like JP, Britney Spears, DeSolo do this. They have some incredibly sneaky stuff where they totally overshoot the flag and do a 180 blink to still grab it, making it the lives of the heavy on flag incredibly, incredibly difficult. And 26, this is the bonus tip. Join us in the T3 Comp Discord. I'll leave the link in the video description below. We're playing organized pickups and helping newer players improve every single day. So if you want to up your game and learn how to play 7v7 pickups, we'd love to see you in the 7v7 Comp T3 Discord. It's a great place for the Tribes community. Yeah, we'll see you in there. It's good times. So join on up if you want to improve your game and learn from veteran Tribes players. All right, that's it. This has been Fishsticks 25 quick tips to make you better at Tribes 3. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next educational video here on my YouTube channel. Peace.